During the month leading up to my 30th birthday, my wife surprised me every day with a video that a friend or family member made for me. And I know what you're thinking.
3-0. That's pretty wild because you're officially... You've been calling me old for forever.
Every day came a new message.
And so I just want to say thank you, man. Thank you for being such a flippin' epic friend.
From a new person.
Every time you have created something, I leave feeling inspired.
I think that you are tenacious in your work and you believe you can do anything.
But my own voice in my head was telling me something different. I accomplished a lot in my 20s, but I often don't think about my successes. I left home for acting school for a year, dropped out, moved to LA, met my sweetheart. I left the country for the first time, married her. We created an amazing social media career for ourselves. I acted on Hollywood fringe sets. We released music, sold out a nationwide tour together, lived in 3 different states, built a home, renovated another one, got a dog, had 2 kids. But despite all of that, I can't help but focus on my failures. I started a coffee company. I closed that down. A clothing company. Closed that down too. I made a board game. That never saw the light of day. I started 2 different podcasts. Canceled both of those. Made original music. Never followed up on it. Restarted this channel multiple times, but could never stay consistent. Started auditioning for film and TV projects again and again and again, and always had to take a break. I'm a serial starter. And I know that sounds negative, but as I've matured through my 20s, I've actually become proud of my failures. Winston Churchill once said, "Success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm." And that's a mindset shift I wish I made sooner. At around age 27 or so, I just stopped taking risks.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right, cool.
Something really unique happens each one of these decades, I think, as we all start to realize we don't get many of these. Don't stop taking risks, man. Don't get comfortable. Don't feel like you've made it.
I think a major issue we're dealing with today is that our culture is obsessed with youthfulness. Rarely do we ever look at someone later on in life and say, I want what they have. This lack of vision and forward thinking towards what our lives could look like in our 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s hampers our ability to mature while we're young. We're so focused on making our lives fun and being happy in our 20s that we're not actually maturing like we should. In the fairy tale Peter Pan, Peter lives in this magical world called Neverland where he never grows up. He visits London and he takes these 3 siblings, Wendy, John, and Michael, back to Neverland with him. And they go on their adventures and battle Captain Hook and his pirate crew. But in the end, Wendy and her 2 brothers are faced with the choice of staying in Neverland and never growing up, or going back to London where they eventually become adults. And that's part of our stories as well. The process of maturing. Are we just gonna go through our 20s holding on to the fun and adventure that we had in high school and college forever? Or are we gonna face the reality of our adulthood and the new challenges and responsibilities and the new adventure that comes with intentionally maturing? Maturity comes through the process of doing hard things, not through living an easy life. Now, I did accomplish a lot in my 20s, and I'm very proud of what my wife and I have been able to do for ourselves and the experiences we've had and how we've set up the future of our family. But one thing still bothers me, and I cannot seem to shake it. Earlier this year, when I was approaching 30, I looked back and thought to myself, man, 23-year-old me would have been convinced that I would have made a movie before my 30th birthday. And that's not something I did, because in my 20s, I thought I had all the time in the world. And then I blinked. And now I'm 30. So I'm not sitting around anymore. I'm 30 and I feel like I'm 23, but 7 years have passed since then. Time doesn't last forever, and every second continues to go by, and there's nothing you or I can do about it. So I've actually started working on my first film about my parents' story and my mom's battle with the HIV virus. I partnered with another writer and we finished writing the short film script, which we are going to shoot and use to pitch for the full feature-length film. I am doing it, and it's pushing me creatively, and it's pushing my confidence and pushing me as a leader. And it's hard, and sometimes that isn't fun, but I'm not striving for happiness. I'm striving for fulfillment. Happiness is momentary and easy, but fulfillment requires effort. Fulfillment requires vision and self-discipline to accomplish the things you know are going to make your life better and the lives of those around you better. Scrolling TikTok might make me happy in the moment and give me a dopamine rush, but it's eating away at the precious seconds I have to accomplish what really matters in my life. I'm not saying you have to do something outrageous like try and make a feature film. I just happen to have that high standard for myself when it comes to that specific thing. But what I am saying is this: at the end of each decade, you'll want to look back and be proud at the way you spent your time. So be intentional and prioritize what's important.
"30, baby. 30. That's so many good years, bro, but that's also so many good years to come. So let's go."
There's no more excuse, bro. You're no longer in your 20s anymore.